Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It All Starts With a Wish podcast. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Mark.
He's already flipping through his dad book.
I am.
He already is.
But listen, the whole country, it's been hot, man.
It has been hot. You always get mad at me for talking about the weather.
I know, but like this feels like extremely appropriate.
Like it's a heat wave.
Like it's not like, well,
everyone's melting.
It's spring again, kind of thing. Like,
are you making fun of me?
No. Would I ever make fun of you, honey?
Yes.
Would I ever do that?
You absolutely would. He's feeling better. If you were in the last episode, he's feeling a little less in pain.
I am a little less in pain. I'm still in pain. Noteworthy. I'm still in pain, but not as bad pain.
So he can talk a little more this episode, which is nice.
I can.
Nice.
But yes, there is a heat wave across the country. It's been miserable here, and I think it's been miserable in most places.
Yeah.
And I mean, our miserable isn't even like, they're talking like temperatures in like the 120s in some places.
Yeah,
in the West,
the heat index that I've last heard in Orlando is like 112.
Yeah.
So that's hot.
That is very
even
hot.
For South, that's hot and humid.
Yes.
So gross.
Yeah, and it's definitely gross here too.
Yeah.
And it's got me thinking about water parks. Because what do you do when it's this hot? You go in the pool, you go to the beach, you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was so New England of you, the way that you just said that.
Sorry.
Go in the water.
Go in the water.
Gonna go down to Revere Beach, too. Park the car at Revere Beach.
What? You just turned like, I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Get out of there, dad joke. Is it about water?
No.
Oh.
But it's about fire. I saw an envelope on fire. Don't worry, I stamped it out.
Not the ASMR with the book closing.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a joke. That's weird.
So, what do you mean it wasn't a joke?
It was just like...
Stamped?
I know, but it wasn't
Stamp
like a
an
knock
envelope.
knock. Who's there?
Stamped it out? Okay, never mind.
It's something that you have to be like worked into a conversation, I feel like.
Oh boy, okay. So we're off to a great start. I think the heat's getting to everybody.
Why do you always think I don't get it? I get it, I just don't think it's funny.
Dehydrated? Do you need some
a little bit,
H2O?
actually. Can I have some?
Me first. As our son likes to do when he wants water, he does not say water like a normal child. He goes, ah, 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 ah. And that means water.
Listen, I'm the only one trying to make him say water. Everyone else just goes, oh, you want water?
Yeah, because it's cute.
No, but it's not. He needs to say water. Because he's going to walk up to somebody and go, ah, ah. And they're going to be like, this kid's a weirdo. Because I probably would think that.
Listen, it's cute. He's still small.
Yeah.
It's worth it for
Okay,
now.
but I'm just saying, like,
but on the topic
within the
of
next year, we got to
water,
get rid of it. Water.
Water parks are a great place to spend a hot day at Walt Disney World.
This is true.
And so today, thank you to one of our listeners who actually participates and sends us emails. You know who you are. The rest of you, you're slacking. I'm just saying. I don't get many emails from most of you. There is one person, though, who does email us religiously. So thank you for actually participating in the podcast. The rest of you, you're on watch. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, jeez.
You're not really on watch. But
all right, I have to add a disclaimer to this, though.
Okay.
I don't really like water parks. Just in general.
Shocked.
It's really not shocking.
No, I knew this about you.
Yeah.
They probably did.
I'm not.
Rachel's not a pool person. She's not a...
Like, I'll swim to cool off, but, like, I'm not gonna, like... I don't know. I have a fear of drowning, so it doesn't really mix well with water.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know. Weird.
Yeah. Great story of us on our honeymoon in
at
Hawaii.
a Disney resort.
Well, we weren't at the Disney resort for this part, though. We rented a kayak from
we were in
a
the
different
ocean.
place, and we were in the ocean. And the kayak may or may not have flipped several times. And
it did.
Yeah, we were
I panicked.
a ways out, and Rachel may or may not have lost her mind.
He had to yell at me.
I did.
He snapped me out of it.
I did.
Rachel, you need to get in the boat. It's like, I can't do it. All right, I can laugh about this now, but it really was not funny.
Yes, you can.
I really couldn't.
Put your big girl pants on and throw yourself into the kayak.
Listen, I didn't realize how bad my upper body strength was until I was in the ocean with waves without touching the bottom, having to just use the momentum of the waves and just my upper body to pull myself up onto something. And that thing is floating and not standing still. Mm-hmm. That was hard. But I remind you that you jumped over the kayak.
I didn't know
He's so strong.
I have so much upper body strength.
Yeah, he's just
that I
so
not
strong.
only pushed myself up and out of the water, I shot myself right
over.
The top of the kayak.
And I was already in the boat, and I was like,
back into the water.
What the heck was that? What was that?
And listen, folks, this was within our first week of being married, and we made it. So.
And you want to know the shocking thing is this was my idea.
It was your idea. You wanted to go see endangered turtles.
I did. Did we get there?
No.
But
did we see a single turtle?
No.
Did we die? No.
Almost.
So
I literally felt like I was hanging onto a buoy. And you know the Blake Lively movie, The Shallows?
I don't, but...
Well, it's a shark movie, and that's all I could think of, because she's on one of those buoys, and the shark is circling her, and that's going through my head, and you're yelling at me to calm down, and I'll swim back. We were very far away from shore, but I was going to swim all the way back.
She's afraid of sharks,
and not
and
stop
she was
until I
swim
got
back.
there.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I think kayaks look more yummy from the bottom. Like to come up
than something kicking and flailing in the water.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know, because I don't really swim. I don't really do the water, so... Anyways...
Water parks.
Water parks. You won't see sharks in water parks, thankfully.
No, so maybe that's a reason why you should go to a water park.
Maybe. I have been to the ones in Disney, though.
This is a good way, I think... I'm not a huge water park person either, full disclosure. But I do think that water parks serve a purpose, especially maybe for a half-day visit, or you can make a whole day out of it. But I think it's a good thing to keep in your pocket, especially if you like water parks and are into water slides and experiences. The Disney water parks are really cool water parks. Like, these are not your average water park.
This isn't just
there are some really cool... things that we'll talk about, features I should say, not things, but there are some really cool features to these water parks that make them special.
Yeah, it's not just, a bunch of colorful slides and concrete and a wave pool that are just kind of thrown together. There's two, there's only one open right now, but they're uniquely themed, they're very opposite of each other, and there's a lot of cool stuff to do that aren't slides either. Or the wave pool. And there's, restaurants and little things to, like, what do I want? I don't want to say, I almost said, like, shacks. But, like, little walk-up services.
Yeah, counter services.
Counter service things for drinks and slushies and ice cream and, everything you would need on a hot day. So, I think we should start with the one that's open.
Sure.
And that is Disney's Typhoon Lagoon. I think this is my favorite one out of the two. Wow, what was that? Soak
up an oasis of fun, as it says on the Disney website.
Soak up an oasis
and splash into action at Disney's Typhoon Lagoon.
So, before we read on, I think the whole premise of this is there's like a shipwreck, right? There's a shipwreck on like some kind of mountain or something, and then this is like the island that like you land on or something like that. Am I right?
You're close.
I'm making it up. I don't think I'm close at all.
No,
there is a boat.
No. You really are close.
Oh.
Just hold on. I'm trying to find the...
Oh, jeez. You got
the actual, like, Disney write-up of it.
But I'm close.
So you were close, yeah.
Close.
So this is the description...
It's been a long time since I've been.
This is the description of what Typhoon Lagoon is. The area was once known as Placid Palms, home to a large volcano called Mount Mayday, and a popular beach resort in Blustery Bay. Then a massive typhoon, thus the name Typhoon Lagoon, hit the area. Ships were thrown throughout the area and into buildings. One went into a harbor, cutting it off from the sea and releasing fish and sharks into the waters. A large shrimp ship known as the Miss Tilly was lodged onto Mount Mayday, which attempts to dislodge itself every half hour. The palms of placid palms leaned over from the force of the wind. The typhoon brought in new waterfalls, rapids, pools for inhabitants to enjoy. The Placid Palms Resort was subsequently transformed into Typhoon Lagoon Resort. So this big typhoon comes in, and it creates all these different
Boats
waterfalls. The boats go everywhere. So you'll see shipwrecks periodically throughout the park. You'll also, the Miss Tilly is the most famous one on top of the volcano. Like, if you think of the image of Typhoon Lagoon,
that's what I think
the logo itself is the Miss Tilly caught up on top of the volcano. So with that, though, come a lot of cool elements to this park that kind of really feed into that backstory. And again, I know we talk about this a lot, but Disney is a master storyteller. Like, the company are master storytellers. Everything is there for a purpose. It's not just done for no reason. So every ride kind of feeds into that overarching theme, that overarching story that they're trying to tell in the water park. So, you know, you have your more traditional things like the Castaway Creek, which is your standard lazy river that runs throughout the park. You have your family raft rides, your individual raft rides, things like Key Hall Falls. You have your kids' play area, the Ketchakitty Creek.
Say that
Catch a kitty. Catch a kitty. Like a kid. Sometimes I would edit some of the stuff out that's staying in there.
No, that's staying.
Ketchakitty Creek, which is your kids' play area. So there's those elements, storm slides. But then you really have, I think, the cooler elements to this park are the things like the
Crush and Gusher. That's actually the only thing I remember about this park, to be honest with you, when I went.
So Crush and Gusher is really cool. It is a water roller coaster.
Yeah.
Is basically what they consider this. So it's not just your traditional water ride where you sit in a raft or you ride on your back or you sit up.
You're like only going down. This you go up.
Yeah, they shoot you up with jets. So you're going up and down. So it's more of a roller coaster feel in the sense that you're not just using gravity to get through the ride. They actually propel you through certain elements of the ride upwards. So really cool. Well worth seeing and riding while you're there, especially if you are into water rides. And what I like about this park is that there's a good mix of rides that have floats and rides that you can just ride on, like the traditional water slide. I don't like traditional water slides. I think they hurt. I think it's painful to ride on your back on traditional water slides. So I always have a preference for the slides where you sit on a float, because I think those are so much more comfortable than your traditional water slide where you're sliding on.
I do have to say, though, too, when I was on Crush and Gusher, I haven't been on it recently, but I can't imagine it's really changed. I do have to say that when they shoot you upward, if your bum is down there, it's going to shoot you right in the bum.
Yeah.
And
that is true.
Sometimes go up a little bit. It's And I wasn't expecting, I don't know what I was expecting the first time, but I wasn't expecting that. So that's a little different, you know, because you are sitting in a tube. So it's not too bad, though, but there are some times if it hits you just right that you're, you know.
Yeah, it gives you a little
you feel a little
extra surprise. I think that the coolest element, though, of this water park, and I think by and large the thing it's most famous for, is Typhoon Lagoon itself. Yes. This is officially called the Typhoon Lagoon Surf Pool.
Right.
But this is your normal wave pool that you oftentimes see at a water park, but this is majorly plussed, if you will. This is an intense wave pool.
This surpasses most wave pools that I would like to go into.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally have surf lessons on in this wave pool.
Well, and so that's a cool thing to note, too, that usually in the mornings, you can, one of the special things that you can add on, we've talked about special add-ons at Animal Kingdom already, but this is a specialty add-on that you can do at Typhoon Lagoon. Basically, they do learn how to surf courses at Typhoon Lagoon in the wave pool. So it's before the park opens, you get to go there early. Obviously, you're paying extra for this experience, but I think, from what I've seen, I've never actually done this, but if you were going to learn how to surf, like you're in
I'd rather not be in the ocean.
Right, and you're not dealing with like the uncertainties of waves in the ocean.
And waiting for a big wave to come. Like, you know each wave is going to
It's always going to be 6 feet.
Yeah.
Which is kind of insane for a wave pool. That may not sound like a big wave, but 6-foot swells are significant. And if you have ever been into this wave pool, you know firsthand these things will knock you on your butt.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not ready.
Yeah, if you're like actually standing, like if you don't go in far enough and you're actually standing up, like you better prepare yourself or at least go down enough where you're already in the water and you can kind of go under or like ride it a little better, because it will just you need to pay attention.
Watch videos of like people who go like way out and like just the swells and how far it carries people back is insane.
Crazy.
So
it's definitely not for the weak swimmer.
As they say, yes, especially if you go far out, as they say here on the Disney website, brave the wave. Yeah. Like this is an intense 6-foot wave. Wade into the warm water where gentle waves lap with the white sandy beach, but swim out and listen for the thunderous sonic boom and the squeals of delighted swimmers as little ripples become big kahunas.
Big kahuna.
Keep watch and feel the excitement build as cresting waves, cresting wave heads your way, and get ready to paddle.
Yeah, get ready for it.
So, very cool element, though, to this park, and I think something that sets it apart from many other water parks. Like, it is something that is truly unique, as is Crush and Gusher, but this is something that I think is above and beyond unique.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I even like the setup of this water park. I think it's very easy to navigate, and, like, there's a central point, and that is Mount Mayday. All of your slides pretty much come from that, which also goes with the theming of it being a volcano with water coming out of it instead of lava and all of that stuff. But all of that is really that central point, and everything is around Typhoon Lagoon, around the wave pool. So it's kind of easy. It's not like, you know, things are too spread out where it's, you know, hard to get to things. It's all pretty centrally located, and the lazy river goes around the entire park. So if you really don't feel like walking, a nice way to get around there is just take the lazy river.
Absolutely.
You know? Something to note about extra magic here at Typhoon Lagoon is that Disney has H2O glow nights. They're after hours, and they are at Typhoon Lagoon. So normally
I would like to try these at one point.
At night, I definitely would want to try this. This would be cool. Right now, the park is open until about 8 o'clock. So after this ticketed event would be after that. Everything is H2O glow. They have all kinds of glow sticks. They have a bunch of party lights going on, like spotlights and dance parties and laser lights and all kinds of fun stuff. Specialty drinks and characters come out and snacks, and they even have like different pool floats that they put in the lazy river of the Disney characters, which is really cool. So it is definitely something if you're into water parks, or if you just want kind of a special, you know, thing to remember. This is one of those things for sure.
I do also want to mention too, we didn't say this when we were just talking about attractions, but Misadventure Falls, which is the newest addition to Typhoon Lagoon, is also a very cool water ride that is on in many ways kind of on that same vein as a Crush and Gusher.
Yeah.
Not quite a water roller coaster, but is really cool and has some really neat elements, and has some really good reviews from people. So this is a family raft ride, though, Misadventure Falls. So this is where you're going to be able to all ride together as a family. And I think that those ones are fun, too, because, you know, you all sit around the raft together and you all can look at each other and laugh at each other as you get soak and wet and make funny faces and all that.
I do have to say too, with this, there is a dress code, even though you are in a bathing suit.
You mean I can't walk around without any pants on?
No, we cannot do that.
Well,
it must be
that?
appropriate for a family environment. So any inappropriate swim attire with any kind of, and this is some of these bathing suits can be covered, but you shouldn't have any buckles, rivets, zippers, or exposed metal. And I think this is for your safety and being on rides and stuff.
Yeah,
so you
it's
should
a
just
pretty
have a
standard
normal
thing,
swimsuit.
I think, at water parks.
Yeah, I know, but like, I just think some people get a little fancy with their swimsuits, and you're
Yeah.
on vacation. But if you're going to be going in that stuff, that's a no-go.
Yeah, I think that's like very much a safety concern thing. But
I don't even know why they would
also
have
it
this,
is
but you can't wear jeans.
Oh, well, maybe some people tried to wear jeans at a water park. I don't know.
What?
So wear a bathing
And you
suit.
can't wear a wetsuit.
Darn.
I can't. I love things like this because that means someone did it.
That's correct.
And that makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Like you showed up with a full wetsuit on.
Any rules like
And you
that,
were like,
there's almost certainly some idiot
yeah,
who
no,
tried
we
it at one
shouldn't be
point
wearing
or
a
another.
wetsuit. I don't think that's necessary.
Don't jump off the bridge. Well, that's because some idiot tried it and didn't go well for them.
Right.
So, yeah, and I think, like, keep in mind also, like, men, maybe you shouldn't wear things that are, like, super skimpy. Like, it is a family park, so, like, people don't want to see certain elements of your body. I'd say the same thing goes for you ladies out there. Like, there were certain maybe bottoms that are not appropriate.
Modest. A little bit.
Reasonably. Yeah, I don't think you have to be super,
you don't
like,
have to
crazy
be, like,
about it.
in,
But,
like a swim dress and, like,
there are
cover up
children
everything.
about, so, like...
And just be, practical. Something that's not practical, like, that are going to fall off during rides or things like that, too. It's just not very practical. So, honestly, if you're going on a lot of things, a one piece is...
You don't want to give people a free show.
Oops. Well, I'm sure it's happened.
I will also say that don't sleep on the dining in this park. I don't think that there's nothing here, full disclosure, there's nothing here that's going to blow your socks off.
I think
Like,
some
we're
of the
not
donuts
talking-
and stuff at the H2O Glow Night people really like.
Yeah. Let me finish here.
Sorry.
I'm getting there.
Sorry.
This is not going to be like amazing sit-down restaurant
Yeah, no.
stuff. But with that being said, for quick service dining, which all of this is either walk-up stuff, the ice cream places like Happy Landings, and like some of the quick services like Low Tide Lou's and Leaning Palms, these places are not going to knock your socks off, but it's going to be solid.
Yeah.
Like, it is reasonably well-priced and decent quick service food. So don't sleep on that while you're there either. Like, take advantage of the decent food that is there. Also, worth noting that you can get Dole Whips.
You can.
At the Snack Shack here in Disney's Typhoon Lagoon. And I cannot think of any better way to embrace a hot Florida afternoon at a water park than to sit by Typhoon Lagoon with those waves whapping up and whacking people and just sitting there.
People watching.
Sitting there, people watching, and eating your Dole Whip while you're there. I mean, that sounds truly amazing.
That does sound pretty magical. It does. They do have beachcomber shacks that you can rent to if you would like to, or have, that in your budget to rent for the day. But you do have to do that ahead of time. I'm sure they fill up, but yeah, so that's just something cool too. That if you're not really looking to like scrounge for a chair, or you really want a good spot with some shade, they do have those. So
right.
You will be out of the sun if you need to.
If you don't want to be fighting over, a beach chair somewhere with other
directly
people,
in the Florida sun,
you can.
You can buy them.
Splurge a little bit and, have a set.
I think I would,
base.
honestly, just because if you're going to go, I mean, a lot of people do have days, but I feel like if you're going to go to a water park, I feel like it's an all-day event. I just feel like you're not going to go there and pay that for, a few hours. Like, you're going there, you're going to be there for a while. So,
yeah.
The only thing that can hinder that is pretty important, I think, when you're planning a water park day is weather. Because if there's lightning and rain, you're already wet, so who cares?
Yeah, the rain doesn't matter, but the lightning will ruin all your fun.
You cannot go on anything.
Yeah.
Everything is shut down. So, I mean, prepare for that, especially during, hurricane season and
yeah,
the
and
wet
also
season,
know
the hot
that
in the summer.
you have to assume,
Yeah.
when you go in the summer at least, that you're going to get an afternoon thunderstorm.
Yeah.
You may luck out and not, but you have to assume that that's coming.
Or you may luck out and there might not be, lightning, but it might rain.
So, I think it may be a mistake going here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
To start, for sure. I wouldn't get there at 2 o'clock.
Unless you are darn sure that it's not going to have that afternoon thunderstorm. You're kind of walking into being disappointed if you show up there at 2 o'clock. Whereas if you get there, maybe not right at opening at 10, but you get there closer to opening at 10 and spend those lunch hours there through the day. And then by the time that afternoon thunderstorm rolls in, you're heading back to your hotel. That, I think, is the most sensible play.
Oh, yeah.
Also, note the hours, too. On the water parks, it's 10 to 8 normally, short of the fact for H2O glow nights that changes that when those are happening, but typically it's 10 to 8 p.m. So you also could, if you know there's going to be an earlier thunderstorm, maybe you wait for the thunderstorm to pass and then you go later in the afternoon too.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely looks really cool at night with the H2O glow nights, but it looks really cool at night anyway. The Mount Mayday is lit up on the shipwreck, and everything gets, if you listen to our day versus night thing, everything gets a little cooler, literally and figuratively, at night. So it's a whole different take on it. So you definitely get two different experiences in the sunshine and in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. That's what that made me think of.
Everybody.
You know what that makes me think of?
Feeling warm and bright.
You know what that makes me
Muppets.
think? Yeah.
The Muppets Haunted Mansion. I love the Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Love that.
I think that was a genius piece of Muppets work. I love the Muppets as it is. The Muppets have some good stuff.
I know, but
okay. That Muppets Haunted Mansion.
All right, can I go on a little thing here? I was pregnant, wasn't I? I'm pretty sure I was.
You might have been.
I think I was. And this came out, right? And Mark was so excited. I like the original Haunted Mansion, and they made the Muppets Haunted Mansion. And then there's this new Haunted Mansion. So, I like the original Eddie Murphy one. And I always watch that around Halloween time multiple times. So when this was coming out, Mark was super excited because he likes the Muppets. And I sat there with him, and I watched it with him. Because that's what a good spouse does, I guess. Even though I wasn't really into it. Mark, you laughed so hard at some.
Because it's funny.
I know, but it was just so funny how you were you're like, this is great. This is the best.
It's all dad jokes, and it's the best.
Yeah, but it's not that great, but it is really funny. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it at least once. It is funny. What's the little prawn guy's name? Pepe.
It's Pepe.
It's Pepe.
Pepe, the king prawn.
Pepe. He's my favorite one. I like him.
Pepe is pretty awesome.
He's funny. But yeah, all the Muppets kind of do a little cameo in there, but very good. Sorry. It's
Blizzard Beach.
But it's funny. Blizzard Beach.
After Halloween comes winter.
It
and
does.
Blizzard Beach is set in winter. Now you may be thinking, wait, Blizzard Beach in Central Florida? What is going on here?
A blizzard at a beach, first of all?
According to legend, a freak snowstorm hit the area and led to the development of Florida's first ski resort.
Wow.
Ski lifts were put up, toboggan runs were laid down, and an entire resort area blossomed around the mountain of snow. Naturally, because of the normal temperatures in Florida, the snow dissipated very quickly, and the snow rapidly turned into slush. This left behind a collection of waterlogged yet snowless ski jumps and chairlifts. The operators were preparing to cut their losses and walk away. However, they were interrupted by a loud yell coming from the summit of the mountain of the melting snow and looked up to see a blue alligator sliding down the mountain at top speed. Ice Skater, the blue cartoon mascot of the park, then landed in a pool of melted snow at the base of the mountain with a thunderous splash. The ski resort operation suddenly saw the park's potential, and the mountain of snow became Disney's Blizzard Beach, the most slushy, slippery, exhilarating water park anywhere.
It's a fun theme.
It is
I
a fun
think it's
theme.
fun. I think it's funny. You know, it's punny.
Discover frosty fun for the whole family, as Disney says.
It's funny. It's winter. It's kind of icebergy with some of the kid stuff. You get to like on floating icebergs and stuff like that. So it is really fun.
It's noteworthy to point out that as of the recording of this episode, Disney's Blizzard Beach is currently closed.
Yes.
Since COVID, they've been very weird with the water parks, and there has been very rare occurrences when both of them have been opened at the same time.
Yeah.
Really effectively, they've only been running one or the other, and they kind of were flip-flopping there for a little while between Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon.
So.
It's been pretty solidly Typhoon Lagoon for quite some time. So we're awaiting news of when the park will reopen, but I think almost certainly that Blizzard Beach eventually will reopen, since Disney still publicizes it and it's still on their website.
Still on the
I don't think it's going away.
It's still there. Yeah, I don't think it's going away. There's rumors. There's always rumors about different things. It was in really bad need of a refurbishment, to say the least. I think that, the wear and tear of it was getting to it. I even remember going, and this was, over 10 years ago, me going to this, and I even remember being like, oh, it's kind of... White is a hard color to keep clean. And so it's really hard with the upkeep of it. So I definitely think that some major upgrades are coming to this, and hopefully maybe, a new attraction of some sort. So, like I said, white's a hard color.
So noteworthy that, neither of these parks were the first water park at Walt Disney World.
This I did know.
River Country, which was right next door to where Fort Wilderness Lodge area was the earliest of the water parks in Walt Disney World, and has been closed for quite some time. But there are still some people who remember going there. Our brother-in-law, actually, on one of his early Disney trips went there, so he has memories of that. But not too many people.
On that island, there wasn't it
remember
supposed to be that it was kind of abandoned, though?
There is Discovery
like a weird
Island.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah, and Discovery Island did have things on it too.
Yeah.
Which is right across from where River Country was.
Yeah. Since it's not there anymore, do not go on the island, but you can still see some of the...
And don't go into the old River Country, but there are still things that are there, but those are off limits to the public.
Just leave it be.
So unless you want to get yourself banned from Disney permanently, I don't suggest that you go into those places. It's not.
For some
but
rotting
elements
wood.
of Blizzard Beach that are part of the story there and part of the things that you can see and do. I think that this is one of the most unique things I've ever seen in a water park. There is a chairlift. Like a ski chairlift.
Like a ski lift. Yeah.
So, it's not a water ride, but it's pretty darn cool, because I don't know many places where you can ride on a ski chair.
Well, you have to. A ski resort has one,
I
so
understand.
you have to have one.
I know you have to have one.
No,
but
I
it's
know,
something
but
that...
it seems out of place, but it's like you have to.
Right, but that's why I think it's so cool that a water park
The only thing I don't like
that.
about it, and it kind of freaks me out, would be going wet on it. I feel like I would just slip right out. I don't know. I feel weird about it.
I think that's very irrational.
I know.
But you have, you have your standard water rides, downhill double dipper, which is kind of a racing ride where, you both slide down on your backs. Meltaway Bay, which is kind of a good area for kids, play area. Your Cross Country Creek, which is your lazy river. Runoff Rapids. Ski Patrol Training Camp, which is really the kids area itself.
Yeah. Very
interactive. Things for kids to play around and climb on. Slush Gusher, which is a fun little ride with small drops.
Then you have the big one, Summit.
I was getting
Plummet.
there.
I know, but this is a big one. I feel like Summit, Plummet, and Slush Gusher go together because they're right next to each other.
But my favorite is the toboggan racers.
Oh.
I love the toboggan racers.
Yeah,
I have a great story on that. So these are like everybody in the family races.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty young, and my whole family, we all went to Blizzard Beach, and it was my brother and my sister and my dad, and I forget, maybe my sister-in-law, not yet my sister-in-law at that point was there, and I can't remember if my brother-in-law was there either. He might have been too for this, but he wasn't my brother-in-law yet. But we were all lined up on this ride. So everybody gets their own individual lane, and you race.
I feel like the person who's the heaviest is going to win.
Well, yeah, so me being the smallest was at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so the guy who was operating the ride, the lifeguard who was kind of in charge, was like, okay, everybody, on 3. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to say go, and everybody goes on go. So the guy goes 1, 2, and he stood behind me, and he pushed me. And I was like, "Wow!" I wasn't expecting it. Like, he pushed me on 2. I was ready to push myself, but no, he gave me a big push. Everyone was like, "Hey!" 3, go, and then everybody else went. So,
did you win?
No, I still lost. I didn't have a lot of weight behind me, others did.
I know.
But that was one of the coolest memories that I have, I think, of a water park at Walt Disney World as a kid. And honestly, I don't have as many times as we went, right? I do have certain very vivid memories of trips as a kid.
Yeah.
I find it ironic, though, that one of the strongest memories that I have as a kid being at a water park. And that is like one of the strongest Disney memories that I still have. All of us on that ride together racing, and the guy pushing me on 2.
It's probably because he scared you.
Maybe, but it is one of the most vivid Disney mememories I have, which is ironic.
And it's funny because I have a lot of vivid memories. I actually have a scar. It's gone away on my foot. I tripped out in Blizzard Beach in the wave pool, and I cut open my foot.
Nice.
So that's fun.
So yeah, it's not like I don't love water parks, as we already mentioned. So I just kind of find it funny that one of my biggest memories is at a water park. But anyways, I digress. You were going to say the true attraction at Blizzard Beach.
This is one people talk about, This is a very big drop that I would not do at all, ever. You are plunging 12 stories pretty much almost straight down. I mean, you look over the top of it, you can't even see the slide. My dad did this one, and he even said, like, this is a really hardcore thrill seeker. Like, he got air. Like, you kind of go over the edge of the slide, and you don't touch the slide going straight down until, like, it curves to catch you.
I mean, Disney does say on this, literally, hardcore thrill seekers won't want to miss this slide.
No, like, you can't see where you literally don't.
So steep, you can't see where you're going until you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 12-story drop, pretty much straight down. Even on their website, they say almost straight down. Rocketing through a darkened tunnel and into a massive spray of white water after a 360-foot-long high-speed descent.
Yeah, no thanks.
I forget the exact speed that people hit on this, but it's fast.
Don't they have a little...
I don't think so. Not on this ride. There's another ride, I think, at Blizzard Beach that does, but...
They have, like, your speed, like a speedometer, like a radar that, like, catches how fast you're going. I did, right next door, the little baby one. I did the slush gusher, and that was enough for me. It was 90 foot high, so not as deep, but it went up and down a few times. I didn't do it again, if that says anything. I just didn't feel like being, like, a baby. So...
Wow! I just looked this up.
What?
Summit Plummet is the park's flagship attraction at 120 feet tall. And people go speeds up to 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's a serious wedgie.
A human. Not in anything. Like, you're not in a
that's
car.
Just gravity.
You're not in anything. It's just you in a slide going 60 miles per hour. That is insane to me.
Yeah, no, that's
as fast as you go on Rock and Roller Coaster.
No, I don't want to.
In a car. Like, that just doesn't seem safe to me. But if you love water slides and you're into thrills,
there you go.
Like, this is it. It is the third tallest and the fastest free fall slide in the world. according to this article.
Interesting. Third tallest.
Third
Almost
tallest,
there,
but the fastest.
But the fastest. Must just be something about the angle.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But Blizzard Beach is not open right now. Hopefully we'll get some updates on that. So that's pretty much it on water parks. There's only 2, and 1 isn't open. So if you're going to Walt Disney World in the near future, hopefully you can cool off if you're there now during this heat wave. Good luck. And hopefully you should catch a Typhoon Lagoon soon and cool off and have a Dole Whip for us. Please. Because that would be a very lovely thing to be doing right now, and we're not. So, cheers to that. What else are you reading?
I guess so. It is just worth noting, too, that when you go through that, similar to a ski resort, if you've ever been to them, you know, they have the different, like, levels of, like, black diamond.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
They
divide up slides. It's more of a regional thing rather than an intensity thing, but there's green slopes, purple slopes, and a red slope. So the different, like, areas, the different lands are kind of divided up in some ways in that way. So similar rides in each one of those different areas of the park.
Yeah, that's nice too, to know, like, at least intensity-wise what you're looking at and where to go to find them. So it's nice that they're kind of grouped together. Just like they would kind of be grouped together on a ski resort. You know,
right.
The slides are the trails, essentially. They turn the trails into water slides. So pretty good marketing there.
Definitely. So what would a theme park, right? So this is not a normal theme park, so the price is not the same. So I think a good ending point for this episode is, what is the price point? What are your options? Can you just buy a single water park ticket? Is there another way to group this in to a package kind of deal as an element of it? How does all this work, Miss Disney Vacation Planner?
So you absolutely can do a one-day water park ticket. If you're in the area or you're staying off property or, you know, whatever, just stopping in, you do have that option to just do one day. It is $74 per adult and $68 per child, and that is ages 3 to 9. That's your first option. You do have a one-day park hopper ticket with blackout dates. So this is cheaper, but there are certain days that you can't go. And that price is $64 for an adult and $58 per child. So a little $10. Not much there. But that is just your one-day option. You can also add on to your regular ticket to Walt Disney World. You can add on the Park Hopper Plus option. So you can get Park Hopper with your ticket, and then the plus is the water park. So you can upgrade that, like your you can upgrade your Park Hopper to include the water parks as well. They also have...
Does that give you unlimited access to the water parks, or does that give you access to the water parks like only a set amount of times with the plus option?
There's a certain number of visits to your choice of the following. So the plus includes water parks plus other things.
Got it.
Would you like to know what's included?
Yes. Why not?
Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, as we know. ESPN Wide World of Sports. Disney's Oak Trail Golf Course.
Ooh.
Foot golf at Disney's Oak Trail. Disney's Fantasia Gardens Miniature Golf Course. And Disney's Winter Summerland Mini Golf Course. So, the number of visits is based on the number of tickets days purchased. So the ticket's valid for admission beginning on that date you selected as a start date, and then they must be used within the limited number of days depending on the ticket length and type. So on certain dates, water park may only be open for special events. Look out for this, right? When you're planning in advance, look out for these H2O glow nights. Make sure you're not getting a one-day ticket on a night where you're not going to get the whole park.
Right.
So there are some other things like that, but yes, you can come and go as you please on the days that you have that ticket.
Oh, wow. So if you have a 5-day Park Hopper Plus ticket, you could go to the water park all 5 days as long as you're within the time range that you have selected. Like, as long as the tickets are still good, you can go as many times as you want. And go mini golfing as many times as you want. Like, if you know that you're going to go on a trip that you're going to do those kinds of things
yeah,
a lot.
I mean, especially because, like, you go to a theme park in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you go in the morning, you rope drop it, and then you go in the water park in the afternoon. When you're going to go back to your hotel, you go to a water park instead. So, but yeah, the Park Hopper Plus let you redeem, like, all of those park admissions. So, like, your parks, your water parks, theme parks, and everything, and you can just go at your discretion.
Yeah, well, that's a very good deal then. If you know that, like,
if you know you're going to use it.
If you know you want to go mini golfing and you know you want to go to the water parks a lot, like, that is a good deal. Like, that's a good add-on. If you're only going to go once, maybe it's not worth it. But if you know you're going to go multiple times on a trip, then that could really be worth it. Very cool.
Absolutely. So definitely worth that.
Well, folks, that is a little bit on the water parks at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. We hope that this is helpful and that, you know, maybe, although it's not our favorite thing to do, that if it is something that you like to do, you'll consider doing this on your next trip. And now knowing what we know about the Park Hopper Plus option, like, hell, go a few times, especially if you're staying at a...
I know.
Like, if you're staying at the beach club, maybe you don't want to, but if you're staying at, like, an All-Star or something, and those pools are nothing special, like... You could get...
You like the pool?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And, like, Blizzard Beach is close if that reopens to the All-Stars.
You get, yeah.
Like, logistically, it is very geographically close to the All-Stars. So if that reopens and you're staying at an All-Star, like, what the heck, get that option, and then you could just go to Blizzard Beach instead of going to the pool every afternoon or something like that. Like, that's a heck of a deal. Anyways, folks, as always, we want to encourage you to follow us on our social media accounts. Send us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. Remember, this episode was a listener solicited email, so, you know, you can also suggest things for us to talk about, and believe it or not, we will listen to you. So please send us an email at startswithawish.podcast@gmail.com. Please send us an email so that way we know that you're listening. And you're actually real people.
Are you real? Maybe not.
Are you my conscience?
Yep.
Anywho's, send us an email if you get
am.
a chance. And remember, folks, it all starts with a wish. We'll see you real soon.